Many consider M. Night Shyamalan to be one of the most recognizable auteurs in modern Hollywood. Throughout his career, Shyamalan's reputation has shifted between critical acclaim and criticism, with films such as The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable establishing him as a major creative voice, while his later films divided audiences and critics. Despite the fluctuating reception of his work, Shyamalan has maintained a distinct visual style centered around psychological tension and carefully controlled mise-en-scene. Film critic Leslie Brill wrote that Shyamalan has established himself not just as a manufacturer of abundant revenues, but as an altruistic writer, director, producer with high artistic and what one might call spiritual ambition. Through framing, color lighting, and setting, Shyamalan uses visual storytelling to guide the audience towards hidden truths, but they are fully revealed through narrative. This analysis will examine how these techniques function across The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, The Visit, and Trap. One of the defining elements of Shyamalan's mise-en-scene is his use of framing to isolate characters emotionally and physically. Characters are frequently separated through doorways, reflections, windows, and barriers within the frame. In The Sixth Sense, Cole is repeatedly framed alone in large, negative spaces, visually reinforcing his alienation from those around him. This visual isolation reoccurs in Unbreakable, where David Dunn is often framed through reflections in narrow spaces, emphasizing his uncertainty about his identity and purpose. Rather than relying solely on dialogue, Shyamalan communicates emotional conflict visually through composition and spacing. Film scholar Matt Hills argues that Shyamalan becomes associated with a popular auteur identity through his recurring stylistic patterns and visual consistencies across his films. These repeated framing techniques contribute to his recognizable authorial style. Color is another important component of Shyamalan's visual style. In The Sixth Sense, the color red appears during moments connected to the supernatural world. Red objects stand against the muted surroundings, subtly signaling moments where hidden realities begin to emerge. Rather than directly explaining symbolism, Shyamalan encourages the audience to recognize visual patterns themselves. This use of color creates tension by suggesting meaning before it is fully understood. In Unbreakable, color is similarly used to distinguish opposing identities, particularly through costume design and lighting. These visual contrasts reinforce themes of duality and hidden identity throughout the film. Lighting in Shyamalan's films often obscure information instead of revealing it. His use of low-key lighting creates uncertainty within the frame and forces the audience to actively search for visual detail. In The Sixth Sense, dim interiors and shadow-heavy compositions contribute to the film's atmosphere and psychological unease. The restrained lighting style reflects the emotional uncertainty experienced by the characters themselves. Critic Michael Skorsky describes Shyamalan's filmmaking style as the most rigorous aesthetic in American studio movie making. This precise visual control is especially evident in his lighting, where darkness and limited visibility become central tools for building suspense. Shyamalan frequently transforms ordinary domestic environments into spaces of tension and discomfort. Homes, schools, and small communities become visually claustrophobic despite appearing familiar and safe. In The Visit, the grandparents' home gradually shifts from comforting to threatening through confined hallways, tight framing, and limited visibility. Similarly, in Trap, crowded public spaces are presented as controlled environments where tension constantly builds beneath the surface. Across these films, setting functions as more than simple background detail. The environments reflect the psychological anxieties of the characters and reinforce the atmosphere of uncertainty that defines Shyamalan. Overall, Shyamalan's mise-en-scene is defined by precision and control. Through framing, color, lighting, and setting, he constructs a visual language that communicates meaning beyond dialogue and plot twists alone. Although his career has fluctuated between major success and critical backlash, Shyamalan has maintained a recognizable cinematic style rooted in psychological tension and visual storytelling. His films demonstrate how mise-en-scene can function not simply as background details, but as one of the primary tools through which narrative meaning is created.